What is up, Flock? Feenix here, and welcome to Autopsy Simulator. Now, this is a game I've actually been looking forward to quite a lot, and I was excited when Playway sent me an email and asked me if I'd be interested to email another email and ask for a key to get early access, and I was like, yep, definitely, and I was really glad that they accepted my request. And so yeah, we have Autopsy Simulator here to check out, and I'm looking forward to this. So let's click play. I love the menu interface to begin with. Like, that is definitely unique. The VHS tape sliding down, you click and play, and that's cool. I like that. So already, off the start, we are already enjoying this game. I just hope it's not too creepy, because you remember the other Autopsy game? It was like things were like, I don't do creepy well. But I do like this stuff well, because this is something that I actually wanted to, back before I went through high school, I actually kind of wanted to be like a CSI, crime scene investigator or something like that. And I went another course, so I've always been fascinated with this stuff. Prologue.
Office of the Medical Examiner, Beatsville. Dr. Jack Hadman is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious.
Did we kill our wife?
Time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife. Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame of mind to record a lecture for my students now. I'm feeling completely broken. Where did I leave my meds this time?
Okay, bit creepy off the start. Where's the bathroom? Oh, bathroom. Oh, this looks like a crime scene and a half. There's a light switch. This light switch doesn't work.
Okay, time to pull myself together.
We broke the mirror?
And get back to work.
Bro, this is a horror game. I'm gonna lose my shit.
You just have the camera first.
Take the camera from the storage room. Out of order. Storage room. Okay, this is a storage room. Why is this so
This place
chunky?
is starting to look like a hoarder's dream. Now remember, Jack, don't forget to hit the record button this time.
Place the tripod in the dissecting room. Guess that's up here. Dissecting room. Yep. Okay.
Hopefully the new tripod is going to hold up.
Oh, I'm glad they blurred that. Thank you.
Now, I just have to get everything in frame. This should be fine. November 20th, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. This autopsy is conducted by Jack Hadman. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the autopsy room. Today, let's start.
Tell students what is important for this profession.
Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must when the job is splashy. And in case of sharp accidents, it's worth having disinfectants at hand. It's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, but if your liver or kidney aren't doing well, you may end up with diarrhea.
Ew.
The cadaver is placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathologist stands on the right of the deceased. Make sure that all the necessary tools are always at hand so that you don't have to run around looking for something, like I do all the time. In the process of revealing and securing forensic evidence, it is difficult not to interfere with the original condition of the deceased. Written and photographic documentation plays a vital role throughout the entire examination process. During your research, be patient inquisitive, but above all, attentive to detail. Many entries are visible at first glance, but sometimes they can be cover for more interesting stories. And lastly, remember that nothing teaches you self-narration like working with the dead. So get used to that fact soon. Everyone will think you're talking to yourself.
Okay.
Now, onto the police folder. That will contain all sorts of pertinent information as to who the deceased might be and what potentially happened to them. So, let's take a closer look, shall we?
Oh, right here. Police evidence.
The deceased's name is Tobias Chambers, locally known as Old Toby. Homeless and unemployed for at least a couple of years. The deceased was found on the outskirts of a parking lot at a gas station,
skip until he's
where he
done
often
talking.
begged and persistently offered drivers to wash their car windows. The body was noticed by a station employee during the morning shift. Initially, he thought that someone had thrown some boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize the pile of clothes as the body of a man. He worked most of his life at the local port dealing with unloaded cargo. He was fired for being drunk and starting fights. His son runs a hardware store on his own. His wife left him years ago. They both had no contact with the deceased. Signs of libation were found around the body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire, and a scattered makeshift blanket. That's it. It's worth remembering the context around the scene of a death. This allows you to better interpret any traces found on the body. I shouldn't start the procedure without gloves. Now it's our turn to take some pictures for our files. If I can just remember where I left the camera. Let's see here. Aha! There you are. I knew it was here somewhere.
Classic Polaroid. Let's go.
As I mentioned at the beginning, before we begin the internal examination, we need to document the cadaver and the condition it arrived in. We begin with a full body photo. Try and stick to the top-down rule, but this is not always possible. Let's keep in mind it's all about the legibility, not the perfect frame. Voila! Now we move on to the next step, looking for traces. Take your time. Look at the corpse from different sides, from different angles, up close, and from a distance. You're looking for anything out of the ordinary. Hardened hands, worn out by physical work, and frostbite? Some wounds in the feet and signs of frostbite, probably because the subject's shoes were too small.
Glad his junk's covered. Why won't it let me? It zoomed in like that's a thing like that, but it won't let me take the picture.
That's something interesting. It will be necessary to
zoom way in
this
on
injury was severe enough to cause damage to the brain.
Okay. And let's try this again.
Boiler yield wound. Looks old. I'll take a closer look later.
Alright.
In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further consideration. But before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data.
Pin the photo to the photo board. Oh, right here. Perform the autopsy. Here we go. Start cutting.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, Magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Where's the knife? Oh. Perform the autopsy. How we perform the autopsy? How we clean the knife?
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife. I wasn't sure it would amount to anything, but the World Wide Web has been a blessing for speeding up my work. Poor soul, I get cases like this more than any other.
To the right would be over there, so how do I start the autopsy?
Scalpel, scissors, syringe.
Okay, this is it.
I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
How do I clean the knife? Hello? Okay, it won't let me pick it up. Perform the autopsy. I'm trying.
Scalpel, I guess I forgot to. Personal
Okay, here we go.
information. The deceased was unclothed.
I'm new to this.
Okay, as you can see, I note everything down on previously prepared forms. Every pathologist must keep a detailed record of every step of the autopsy. This not only allows you to track the procedure, but also collates the results together, upon which you may back up your conclusions. So, enough of the boring prep. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the spots I photographed earlier. For this, you're going to need a magnifying glass. Scalpel. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Oh, okay. Magnifying glass.
Which spot first? It looks like a burn mark. No doubt painful, but it's not pertinent for this case.
Okay.
Definitely a painful mix of frostbite, abrasions, and blisters. Old Toby had been wearing shoes too small for him for a very long time.
I guess it's natural
If
causes.
he wore any at all.
Okay. Let me do his
Here we can
hand.
see frostbite on the fingertips. We can tell by the characteristic skin color.
Okay. And then...
I can confirm the presence of ecchymosis on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. Add alcohol,
What does that mean?
which I can clearly smell. And this was an accident just waiting to happen.
Oh, he must have slipped on ice and bumped his head.
So far, there are a lot of superficial wounds, but only one serious injury to the head. Let's go back to our notes.
Okay. Notes. Okay, shift. Oh, sorry.
First, I mark the location of the injuries and make notes for the head wound. Definitely an important clue. This is something we'll investigate first. Even though this type of wound didn't contribute to the deceased's death, we're still required to record it. We're not in frost season yet, but high humidity, wind, and the inability to warm up can also be causes of frostbite. If Toby's body was cold for a prolonged period, the frostbite could have resulted from the body's defense reaction. The safety of the internal organs is more important than fingers, nose, or ears. As you can see, we don't have much to go on. Let's write down what preliminary causes of death we can think of. Various types of accidents are a common cause of death among the homeless and the elderly. Perhaps old Toby slipped and accidentally hit his head.
That's what I'm
This is of
thinking.
no interest to us. Considering the conditions in which he slept.
Well, actually, that was
His body
what
may
my
have
first
become
thought,
hypothermic.
and that it And he slipped on
The nights
ice.
have been particularly nasty lately. We will check if there are any signs of freezing internally. Since the deceased clearly smelled of alcohol, I'll add alcohol poisoning to our list.
Okay.
We still have one thing left from the basics: rigor mortis. Well, we take our deceased by the hand, gradually we raise it,
Oh, we gotta stick with the...
Now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls loose. What's the conclusion? Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct.
Okay.
Head trauma seems the most promising, so we'll start there. For this,
Oh, we're cutting open the skull.
isolating saw. The cut
Oh
is
boy.
made from ear to ear.
Oh. Okay.
After which, we remove the skin and the top of the skull. After the basic examination, we can see that the brain's cerebral gyri in both hemispheres are symmetric.
It's all
Brain
jiggly
looks
too.
good. Let's take a cross-section. Some pathologists prefer to examine organs without removing them. However, for me, it's much more convenient to examine them on a board.
Dude's happy for
Which I'll
having
do
no
now.
brain. Leave the body. Stick the brain to cutting board. Wait, cutting boards are here. Okay.
Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the cranial nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us.
This is okay. I like this one. It's probably the slowest cut in history, but you know. How jiggly
So
it
far,
is.
so good. The hematoma seems to have had no effect on the brain.
Okay. So we can rule out fall.
We can rule the fatal accident out as well. Brain is in good condition, so we have no choice but to proceed to the internal examination of the other organs. I grab a scalpel from my kit. The incision should be in the shape of a letter Y. We use a deep cut to reach all the way to the ribs and to penetrate the abdominal wall.
Did not cut.
Alright,
There we go.
now we peel back and separate the skin.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's nasty. With an empty hand, peel back the skin flaps. I did. So we go.
Now, we need to remove the ribs. We'll need the loppers for this.
Ooh, okay, this.
Quite a satisfying crunch, for some anyway.
That was kind of satisfying.
The cartilage tissue, we instantly noticed two things. Firstly, there is no congestion of the internal organs. This means that although the deceased was hypothermic, it didn't kill him. Secondly, the deceased smoked like a chimney. So
that's what I was saying. Them lungs are black.
Lungs. We can see widespread black and tar. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Alice smoked too. It didn't kill her, but... what was I talking about? Lungs. Yes. Advanced inflammation.
Okay.
What now? The syringe. Now's a good time to collect some samples.
Select the syringe and... Okay, syringe.
Specifically 3. 5 milliliters from the left ventricle should do it. And from the bladder, we draw about 10 milliliters of fluid. Vitreous humor analysis is
ew, from the eye?
Alcohol abuse. Now we take our samples to the centrifuge. But before I do that, I need to find my notebook. My dyscalculia means that I always double check the settings. Please excuse me while I run and fetch it. This whole thing is covered in stains. I should check this out under the microscope sometime. Let's get back to the examination.
Alright.
Put all of the samples into the rotor. Now, we set the appropriate time and speed.
Notes. Okay, so we do 15 minutes at 70%. 15 minutes at...
Okay,
70%.
Let's roll. Oh shit. The fuses again.
Oh, dude, no.
Where were we? Oh,
no,
yes.
No.
The blood alcohol concentration.
Nope. Nope.
Let's see what we've got here.
Why does this gotta be a horror game? Why can't it just be a straight up...
Everything's separated as it should. Our lab is closed until tomorrow after the last...
Nope.
Incident. However, considering that Toby's favorite
there was a face in that door
appears to be ethanol, I'm guessing the results won't surprise me at all. Let's go further. We will now focus on the cardiovascular system, specifically the heart. We remove the organ and examine it closely. We look for dark hypoxic areas, clots, or other elements that stand out as abnormal. At first glance, the heart looks fine. The pulmonary trunk and aorta seem to be in good condition. There are no pathological changes that would have contributed to Toby's death. Size is normal, healthy, pink color. And as expected, the stomach has no major external damage. We must now cut it open and inspect inside. We will do it carefully so that its contents do not spill out. We open the stomach along the greater curvature, from the heart to the pyloric end. Oh, I already feel like there's something left inside.
Don't look outside. Don't look outside. Just don't look outside. Just don't look outside. It's going so good. At least with this, you don't have to have the smells. That's another good benefit to playing a simulator.
Okay, large amount of gas, small amounts of yellow, grayish food content, resembling some kind of meat. Either our deceased hadn't eaten in days, or the bulk of his stomach had already found a way out. Looks like I'll have to find the missing contents. There are two ways here. One is obvious, and the other is... It couldn't have been suffocation, could it? I'll add this to the list and move on to the deceased's neck. At first glance, the trachea looks normal. Same result as with the stomach. The external inspection doesn't tell us anything. This time we'll cut on a tray.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, we're almost a half hour into this game, and yeah, I am...
While cutting such a small organ as the trachea, we must make a precise incision. To be able to cut with the very tip of the blade, we must hold the scalpel as we would a pen.
I'm having fun playing this game, but something tells me it's going to have like a horror aspect to it, and I don't like that. I'm not good with horror games, so...
And after careful examination and deduction, we've got it. A clogged trachea. It's time to summarize the whole thing.
I don't do good with horror games, alright? So it seems like there has a horror aspect because when the lights start flickering, there was definitely somebody standing outside that door, and I'm guess it has something to do with his wife.
Then the gas contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing death.
So I would love to play it if it was just strictly an autopsy simulator, but since there's horror stuff in it, I don't know if I'd play it, unfortunately. But anyway, I enjoy it straight up as it is. I'll play a little bit more if it gets any more horror-y, then I'm gonna have to check out. But that's gonna do it for me. If you guys did enjoy today's video, do me a huge favor, leave a like down below. It does help me out so very much. I do appreciate it so very much. If you guys do want to see future, actually, let's go ahead.
That's why we don't forget about the recovery position at dorm parties. And now it's all clear. The death was suffocation. Now, signature. The mystery is solved. But for us, this is not the end. First, the dead body needs to be cleaned up.
There we go. Alright, so now that's done. If you guys did like today's video, do me a huge favor, leave a like down below. It does help me out so very, very much, and I do appreciate it so very, very much. If you guys do want to see future Feenix plays, be sure to click that subscribe button. If you guys want to notify whenever I do go live, upload a video, click that notification bell. As always, guys, thank you so very, very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.